Hare Krishna, this is Ramananda Gopadas again, and today I would like to speak something about God and how is it that the Lord comes here and incarnates and fulfills different purposes. So just imagine you want to create a fishing bowl. Somebody gave you for birthday or something, gave you some fishes. Of course, it's not good to uh, give animals away or whatever. Don't use them as some kind of things for enjoyment. But I know for myself, when I was little, my father had a fishing bowl, and sometimes he got some new fishes. So you have a fishing bowl, or you want to create a fishing bowl. So it's kind of the same as if the Lord want to create something. And like you want to have this fishing bowl because you have to have these fishes, and you want to give these fishes some space to live in. And therefore you go to your Brahma, some kind of worker who creates the fishing bowl for you. He takes some glass, glues them together, and then he puts some sand on the floor. He puts some stones inside, put some plants inside, put water inside, put a heater inside which keeps the temperature constantly on a level where the fishes can survive. And he put also some kind of air condition inside, meaning oxygen, right? And on top of it he puts a light, and with a watch what turns the light on in the morning, let's say at 6 o'clock, and turns it off at 6 o'clock in the evening. So you have your space, your universe, and you have the elements who fill up the space. Like you have your water, you have some earth, you have your creeps and plants, and you have your demigods who kind of also manage the whole affairs, like the heating, and you have your sun, what turns on and off. So you make arrangement, or this Brahma, your creator, makes some arrangements. Now finally the bowl is ready, and you take this bowl at your home, and there you install it, put it in a nice place, and then finally you can put fishes inside. So the fishes are not aware that this is all done by your expansion, that you informed this creative guy who made this. You informed him that this is your desire and he should do this according to this, your standards. You gave him the measurements. So this was your desire to provide this for the fishes. And also you paid him. So it's your energy, right? Where you paid for it. So fishes, they don't know, they don't have any clue about that, right? Because they are, according to our standard of intelligence, most of us at least, they are not so bright. It's said that when they swim from one side of the glass and they swim to another side, they have already forgotten what was on this side. So they constantly in amazement, wow, everything is new each time they swim back and forth, because they have such a short memory. But it's the same Jiva, it's the same, they living just in a fish body. Like it's the same like us. It's just we in a very elevated human body, and they are in a fish body. So they swimming happily in the glass, but they don't have any idea about how we all came in existence, how we are living our lives. They don't know anything about our relationships. They don't know about anything about our dealings with our girlfriends, with our friends, or with our wives or husbands, whatever. They don't know anything about this higher nuances of love, because the only thing what they experience is their kind of surviving instinct of mating and sleeping and eating and defending, right? So, and this is on a very base level. They don't have beds where they lay down their head, what is cozy for them or whatever. They just sleep mostly like just floating in the water. They eat only the food what comes in front of them. And this is a very simple way of living, of course, and has nothing to do with our way of living. So they don't have any understanding of this. They just see that once a day, by some divine arrangement, some food is falling from the sky, right? And they can eat it. And so they may think, or they could maybe think, wow, that's amazing, right? And once a day, somehow food is raining from top to down, and I just have to eat it. And maybe if they have some kind of vision, they would maybe recognize that somehow some shadow appears, in front of the class. They have some vision when you go in front. You can experience that they look somehow, but don't know if they see you clearly or just have some blurry vision of you. So maybe they can combine this together, and they could maybe figure out, wow, always when this shadow comes in front of the class, then the food falls from top, right? And they could say, maybe this is some kind of God, right? And so they could say, well, maybe when this person or when the shadow comes again, I may be giving a wave, and in this way I may establish a relationship with that shadow, with that whatever it is, right? And so in the same way, you who is kind of feeding the fishes, you would be surprised if suddenly, the fish is waving at you, and you would say, wow, that's amazing, isn't it? And you would take special care of this one fish, of this particular fish, because he shows some sign of love, right? And you would make sure that he is always sure that he feels happy, and you probably would even go more often in front of the fishing class and look after that waving fish, right? You would call your friends, your family would say, look at this fish, look, he does it again, he's waving, wave back, and everybody's waving back at the fish, and the fish is waving back. And maybe the fish tells his other fishes as well, let's come on, wave, they're coming again. And all of them would wave. That would be a nice exchange, isn't it? And you would be very careful that they all feel very happy, because suddenly there is a very personal relationship, right? And let's say another scenario, suddenly in this fishing bowl, one of the fishes, he is maybe a little bit obnoxious or vicious. He tries to eat the other fishes. This is happening. It's happening in fishing bowls. Some kind of frustration or whatever. We notice we have the same in our society. We start to eat some competitor or somebody else who is in our way. So he started to eat your waving fish, and he cannot, he started to eat the floats, whatever, and he cannot wave at you anymore. So you would be very, very angry, right? And you would kind of interfere, so you would kind of maybe tell this other fish off, you don't want to be violent, first of all, but if he doesn't stop, then you have to intervene in a maybe physical way, right? You could separate them, take him off and put him in another fishing bowl, that he cannot harm these other fishes anymore. So you take direct actions to intervene and save your favorite waving fish. So this is the same way how we are approaching the Lord. We are like these fishes. We have no idea. We try to always understand God, but it's impossible to understand God. It's impossible to really understand His dealings with His associates, with His pure devotees who are always eager to serve Him. But still we make big speculations. And the only thing what we can do is we can try to start a relationship with that God, with that Lord, who we don't have any idea about this, except somebody maybe tells us something about this, who knows Him, who has already a relationship. And he may tell us, just try to wave at the Lord, saying, let's make a prayer, let's ask Him for guidance, let's ask Him who He is, and that He helps us to get out of here. And when this happens, then the Lord naturally responding, because then we showing some sign of love, He shows some sign of love back. And because He has much more potency of love, then He can much more give us, right? Like you would give maybe some special portion of food to your waving fish, or you take specially care of him. So this is how we approach the Lord. So we should never forget this, that we are very, very limited. Our senses are very, very limited, very small. We don't have any great idea. The only thing what we can do, and what is very important, is to establish a relationship, a loving relationship with that Lord, by waving at Him, waving our prayers to Him, waving our service to Him. And in this way we make Him happy, and He responds to our endeavors of service and of love. And in this way there's a relationship, and according to this relationship, how this relationship progresses, the Lord then step by step He reveals Himself, and He gives us the understanding by which we can come to Him and find, even can give us the way how we can get out of this fishing bowl finally. And that would be the greatest of all, because being a fish is actually not such a pleasant lifestyle. I don't know who of you would like to become a fish in his next life, or who envies the fish who is always in his bowl and is full of amazement when he swims from here to there. Wow. Like we are in each and every life, we swim and think, wow, that's material life is amazing. Wow, I need to enjoy the senses. Wow, I want to be again in a body, in a fish body, in a human body. Doesn't matter. We boxed in that ball, and we gonna get out of here. This is not a place for gentlemen. So let's get out of here. Hare Krishna. Waving to the fish.